WDRB.com says LMPD, that's Louisville Metro Police, plan for armed militias to protest downtown Saturday. And they give us this really nice photo of a member of the black militia group known as the NFAC. You got a bunch of dudes, they got guns, and I'll tell you what, first and foremost, they are in their legal right to do everything they're doing.
Absolutely.
So good for them. That's first and foremost.
Trigger discipline.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, compared to a lot of people, these guys are doing it right.
Well, after the first time that they marched, what was it, like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. So there was a bunch of people talking about the different people holding guns, and then there was close-ups on the guns, and then there was close-ups and calling out on how many of the guns weren't loaded, many of the guns weren't
from the NFAC.
Yeah,
interesting.
Weren't properly, equipped, I guess.
I mean, maybe
I don't know that much about guns, myself, but I was reading into it, and they were like, there was clearly people who knew what they were talking about guns, talking about it.
The important context is that you've got this group. It's the Not Effing Around Coalition. They marched through Georgia. They called out right-wing groups and militias. And apparently one of these dudes has posted, like, I don't know how you describe it, but anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, stuff in the vein of like black identity extremism and black Hebrew Israelites. So people are kind of concerned about their ideology, especially if they're going to be marching around. But hey, first and foremost, they're allowed to be doing this. This is America. Second Amendment applies to them, same as anybody else. If they want to, do their thing, so long as it's, within the law,
Yep.
I'm not going to complain. However, the 3%ers are going to be coming out. And after these dudes already called out other militias,
Yep.
I have genuine concern for
I agree.
some kind of escalation or
I
conflict.
really don't want that.
But
I don't want anyone shooting each other.
But I got to be honest, man. I've noticed that when I've gone to a lot of protests, be it the left or the right, the armed guys are the most disciplined and typically stop things from escalating. The issue is the older disciplined guys with training who are like, we don't want an escalation here and kind of calm things down. They're great. But what happens when some younger person shows up all rambunctious with a brand new weapon, or like when the dude in Chaz just hands some random dude a gun,
or a brick gets tossed from behind the crowd, or one person not associated with either group comes in and just pops one shot into the air
while pretending to be one or the other.
Exactly.
And then I think, I got to be honest, man, in my experience, I think even someone firing in the air, you'll see discipline from the guys who are properly trained. They're not just going to start aiming and shooting.
Well, what scares me though on that front is these not effing around crew. They were straight up calling these people to come fight them. So they weren't, I mean, that's what they were saying. They're like, come fight us. You're all talk. And it's like, they're not all talk. They're not trying to fight you. That's not what their plan is. And that seems like that's what their plan is.
Perhaps. I can't speak for the NFAC guys.
Okay.
I've actually been on the ground at various protests and actions where the 3%ers have been.
Yeah. And
I've seen them be the most disciplined there. In fact, at one event, it was in Boston, when people were trying to fight, the 3%ers actually pushed so they're on the side with the right-wing people.
Okay. When
the left-wing people started walking up to the crowd, the 3%ers actually like held back the right-wing side, telling and yelling at them like, back up now. Because they're disciplined, they're assertive, and they're like, you're going to cause problems. That guy's trying to bait you. You back up.
Nice.
Because they're going to keep, like, if the 3% dudes in Boston, they knew that if they went up to the Antifa guy and tried pushing him back, like, get away from us, the fight would break out. The smart thing to do, the disciplined thing to do, was to tell your side to back up because they're trying to bait you.
Yeah.
So I really do believe that if it really did come to this, if I had to make a bet, I wouldn't say I'd guarantee it. I'd be willing to bet it would take a lot to get like a 3%er group or one of these right-wing militias to engage. Like, even in the event someone fired a few rounds, I bet they would retreat. I bet they would get behind cover and they'd be like, we're not engaging. This is not what we want. I can't speak for the NFAC.
Well, I can't either. All I'm
going
on,
I don't know.
Well, and neither do I, but I am going directly off of their videos of them speaking to the camera saying this is our message. So I'm going off their words. That's where I got my information.
Here, let's read a little bit. They say groups associated with the 3%er movement and a black militia known as the Not Effing Around Coalition are expected to face off in Jefferson Square Park on Saturday, along with other people who have for several weeks been protesting the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor by police.
Oh, well, maybe they'll all be there together because everybody wants justice for Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
Period. I don't know I haven't found one person who doesn't care about that.
Yeah, I would say that with 100% accuracy, when I go to people and be like, hey, did you hear about this young woman who was just like shot in a no-knock warrant? And they're like, wow, that's crazy. Those cops should face justice. Like, okay, yeah.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though, in Seattle, there's going to be more riots on Saturday.
I'm sure.
And that's why Trump is deploying this tactical team. Saturday's going to be bumping. That's tomorrow, man. It's going to be bumping. There's going to be a lot of live streams. Things are going to get crazy across this country. I hope this doesn't spark any craziness. Let's read a little bit more.
Same.
Major Aubrey Gregory told reporters Thursday that the groups are expected to be armed, but everyone police have spoken with has expressed the desire for peaceful protests.
Good.
We have been in contact with both groups coming to Louisville, and we expect nothing but a peaceful protest this weekend. This is what I was saying, man. I even with the tough talk from the dude,
yeah,
I've found that the people at protests who are armed tend to be much more disciplined.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if both groups were like, no. we don't. Nobody wants to get shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some places are a different story, mind you. Chicago, for instance, people pull out guns and point them in each other's faces, and then somebody gets shot.
Yep.
To help ensure that, police will limit vehicle access around the park, including prohibiting parking on the streets surrounding Jefferson Square Park. And police will use bike rack barriers to create a buffer zone and separate the protesters. Gregory said police will create a no-go zone on 5th Street to try and keep those people with alternative viewpoints separated. The department will try not to intervene as long as protesters do not break the law, police have said. LMPD remains committed to peaceful expression of views under the First Amendment. That's Jesse Halliday, police spokeswoman, said. As we have done for several weeks, there will be no need for police intervention as long as there is no threat to personal or public safety. We will not allow the barricading of streets by non-law enforcement, impeding traffic, or attempting to threaten or force people not involved in the protest from their intended destinations. Gregory said the department has been in contact with other law enforcement, including Kentucky State Police, but have not requested assistance for this weekend. And Gregory told reporters he spoke with the founder of NFAC, Grandmaster Jay, who said he is coming to Louisville to voice his concern over the death of Taylor, but expected a nonviolent protest. I take him at his word, as I have no reason not to.
Nice.
I think they should march together.
I think so too. Good point.
They shouldn't. They should both show up and both say we want accountability for people who break the law and commit crimes and take innocent life.
Absolutely.
If they approach this as they're framing it like different factions needing to be divided?
Well, that's clearly what they're doing.
Exactly. That's the potential for conflict because you'll get some Antifa dude on one side starting a fight.
All right.
If they march together like we saw with Black Lives Matter and the Boogaloo Boys,
yeah,
zero chance for conflict.
That's true.
They're together.
And who's Antifa gonna like provoke? You know, if they're going together as proper American citizens exercising their rights, you know, protesting against an injustice. You know, what's Antifa going to do? Who are they going to push?
Look at what happened in Virginia when all the gun rights advocates came out and Black Panthers showed up. Mm-hmm. Everybody had a good time. And guess what? They won.
That's true.
They pushed back that law, I suppose, in Virginia. I can't remember the full details. It's been a while since I covered this, but they had their big peaceful protest. They actually won. And different political factions were there, all getting along. Mostly just like guns rights activists. I think there was, you know, I'm sure many of them have different viewpoints, but that was the only real clear ideology.
I got one word for you.
What's that?
America.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. Isn't it funny how peaceful protest works?
Yeah. Martin Luther King was a strong advocate for peaceful protesting.
What have the violent riots wrought? Opposition to Black Lives Matter. Escalation of crime.
Ruination of small businesses, minority-owned businesses.
Yep. Destruction of wealth for the lower class.
Literal death.
And then we get the defunding of police. They claim victory. What does that get? The
More
activists.
Deaths.
But
look at New York. Look at Chicago.
And the activists in New York are coming out saying, bring them back.
Please bring our cops back. Yep.
So the riots have generated nothing but chaos, conflict, suffering.
Death.
28 dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's
28.
I know it's more than that, but
well, directly involved in rioting.
Sure.
Then you go on to the crime rates that are surging because of this stuff. Mm-hmm. Worse. What have the peaceful protests generated? At first, peaceful protests resulted in a major show of support for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, definitely.
And now it's all souring.
Well, because at first everyone was like, "Hey, you know what? You're right. We want you to know we absolutely think Black Lives Matter, no doubt." Like that wasn't even a question on anyone's mind right away. It was like, awesome, Black Lives Matter for sure, no doubt. Yeah. But now we see it's being commandeered by all these not just one, but just like there's Antifa that's taking it and using it as a shield.
Corporations
are using it, right? They're jumping on the bandwagon. It's
the Boston Red Sox did like a 250-foot banner.
God,
that's so dumb, man. I did a video on this earlier, but when A&E canceled Live PD.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is so crazy. I don't know if you guys saw this story. It's a $300 million franchise, and A&E was like, "It's a show about cops. We're gonna cancel it," and now their ratings are down 55%.
Good riddance.
Not only did they lose the $300 million franchise, but the revenue across the board is going to go down. Can't have a video showing police in a positive light, can you?
Nope. The adage. You know what
Get
it
woke,
is?
go broke.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Yep, that's it.
I guess we should make a button. Get woke, go broke.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. It's woke, relevant. Broke. It's happening a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We need something having to do with AOC giving bread to people. Let them eat cake.
Let them have bread.
I can't believe she actually said let them eat cake. You know what I mean?
Wait, she actually said let them
figuratively.
Eat cake? Oh, okay.
Like when she was referencing the shooting, violence, and crime, and she was like, they just want bread. That's like literally
I know, it's
Marie Antoinette.
Yep, exactly.
The poor people are revolting again. What should we do? Why don't they just eat bread? Because they don't have any, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But but hers is a different version of the same thing. Where it's like hers is an inversion of it, where people aren't trying to get bread, and she goes, "We need to give them bread." It's like they're shooting each other for unknown reasons.
For someone asking them to stop lighting fireworks off at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's an issue of law and order.
Absolutely, it is.
They're trying to claim that Trump is faking all of this,
which is insanity.
I'm
seeing it with my own eyes. I'm reading the police reports. It's crazy right now in America. Like, I want law and order. People are getting killed. Go ahead.
The only conspiracy theory is, I suppose, the black bloc individuals are secretly working for the government, and so believe it or not, some people actually believe this. Because they think the two people who were snatched up were actually informants.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Right, yeah. So that's why the cops were like, we're going to get you. And that's why they weren't arrested and there was no trace of it. They weren't brought in for question. They're technically brought in for questioning, but they're cooperating criminal informants or confidential informants. But I don't think there's any grand conspiracy. I think the reality is I've known a lot of these far left people. They want people to believe. They tweet about this. They're agitators trying to make us look bad. The protesters are peaceful. It's like, dude, those moms weren't wearing masks. They were kicking the door in too. Like, it's just a mob. It's like, this is what mobs do. There was a really funny story I was reading once. Like, I guess it's like an old legend that somewhere in Europe, back in the way olden days of like the 1400s, people were all on a bridge just dancing wildly, like for no reason. And whenever someone walked on the bridge, they would succumb to the hysteria and start dancing as well.
Okay.
And it was just like, it probably, like, it's a story supposedly about some weird curse, I don't know, but most people just think it was mob mentality. That people joined in and started doing random things, looking weird and silly for no known reason.
I mean, I'm seeing some videos where there is definitely mob mentality and they're just chiming in. It's creepy.
And that's why I'm saying,
it's getting
man,
real creepy.
The fact that they're showing up to people's homes now is one of the most alarming things, because it will only be a matter of time before they go in your home.
And that's why that I don't know if it was the police commissioner or who made that press conference, but he was saying it's like we've had like over 17 of our police officers be doxxed by these Antifa folk.
Yeah.
We don't want they're going to people's houses.
Yep.
We know that they are, so we're trying to protect our officers who are trying to protect the citizens who aren't attacking the courthouse. It's crazy.
But this is what we get in the Pacific Northwest. I'm pretty sure everybody realized this, especially with like Andy Ngo's coverage.
Yeah.
That if it was going to start anywhere, this unrest and this wave of whatever is going to be in Portland or Seattle.
That's a good point.
We all knew it, Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.